Everybody hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We'll call the meeting to order for the regular monthly
We
budget.
can hear but not see.
Thursday, March 4th at 4:00 p.m. Rob, if you would, call the roll.
This conference will now be recorded.
You take it, Rob.
We can't hear him.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Here.
Commissioner Denenberg,
She stepped away a minute. Yeah.
okay, Commissioner Creasy,
Here.
Commissioner Fritz,
Here.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Val,
Here.
Commissioner Denenberg,
I'm here. I had to let the dogs out.
thank you. Commissioner White's absent at this point.
We do have a quorum. If we would, I'll lead us in prayer and ask Commissioner Waddell if he would to lead us in the pledge. Heavenly Father, once again, we come to you, giving you honor and praise, thanking you, Lord, for every blessing that you send to us. Please forgive us of our sins, times, God, that we fail you, but we ask, Lord, that you be with us today as we discuss the business of the county. Give us discernment, Father, to do what's best for your people. All this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioners. The next item on the agenda is the cash and fund balance report. Robbie, go ahead.
Hold your packets out first. The cash and fund balance report wasn't complete because we hadn't balanced yet in our office. It was the first day of March. We did get balanced the next day, and I sent an additional email, but I'm not sure anybody got it. But anyway, the cash and fund balance is different from the first report. Restricted funds are at $989,491. Committed funds are at $2,065,498. Assigned funds, $2,029,147. Unassigned fund balance is $5,993,927. Total fund balance is $11,078,063, and cash is at $16,608,323, which compared to last year at this time is up $4.5 million. And honestly, February is the high month for cash always because property taxes are due in February by the February 28th, so we have a high property tax collection. And we had a really good sales tax month in January too, which I'll get to next. But the reason for the high cash balances, like schools, is 19 million, 19.6. So we really have healthy cash balances right now. Any questions?
For Robbie on the cash and fund balance report? Hearing none, moving right along.
Okay, sales tax. In January, we collected $4,980,820 as a whole county, up 7% from last January. And the county, Anderson County, collected $691,871.40, which is our second highest total ever to last January, when we collected $1 million, but which we'll probably never see again. Anyways, that was just a couple of things on sales tax. For our balance in general fund is $1,043,629. Our budget's $905,000. Highway balance is $612,925. The budget is $540,000, and schools are at $7,035,000, and their budget's 9.6. So highway and general fund have already met their budgets for sales tax for the year, and we still have 5 more. Any questions?
I had a question, Robbie, and I may be reading this incorrectly. In December of 2019, we had $538,000 some odd dollars income for Anderson County, and this past December it was $443. So, am I reading it that was down?
That's the first month we went down in.
And then January, we were down quite a bit too.
Just Anderson County's portion, but still, even though we were down, that's still our second highest total ever of 691,871,
Okay.
which is probably.
I was just wondering what the reasons were for those two, if you had any feel for what the reason were for those two drops in the last 2 months.
Well, I don't have a feel for it. I mean, the January total of 1 million in 2020, I mean, that was totally, we were the number one in the state that month. And I mean, it's Christmas money. It's also the first couple of months that we started collecting sales tax that way. So maybe it was accumulation of several months that just happened to hit in January. But I'm happy with this January totals this year, even though they're down. Comparing it to last January is not really a realistic total. I mean, I think 691,871 is still very high, and probably we won't meet that next January, if you want my opinion. That's still way up there.
Okay.
I think it's more Christmas. You know, January is really December and November sales tax. They're always a couple of months behind.
Okay, thank you.
The question?
Robbie, I can answer, just for Dr. Smallridge, and I did talk to Robbie about this. We also reached out to Gail Cook, just as an example, because we were looking at this and why the drop. And many times adjustments happen. So for instance, Gail with the city of Clinton knew or apparently had talked to someone at the state, and the city of Oak Ridge, for instance, had a refund. So sometimes there are errors that are made down at the state level, and that impacts your adjustment or your payment. So another example is many years ago, this has been probably 6 years ago, Roane County received some of our sales tax. And so they thought they had a high, a windfall month, and then they ended up having to give that back, and then it came to us. So sometimes there are adjustments that are made in the sales tax.
Right, thank you.
Other questions for Robbie on that matter? All right, hearing none, we'll continue on with the amendments.
Okay. On the consent agenda, transfers not requiring a commission approval, we have 1 through 16 seeking approval as a group, or we can take any individually that you would like, or I can answer any questions also.
Move for approval as a group.
Second.
Commissioner Fritz moves for approval as a group, seconded by Commissioner Smallridge. Any
I
discussion?
have a question. I have a question on number 1. Thank you, sir. Mr. Stevens, are you on the board?
I am.
I was just curious, have you received any of the CARE grant monies as yet?
We have, only thing we've received is in supplies. We have received that, but as far as actually revenues or actually physically capital money, we have not yet.
Have they given you any indication as to when and how much money you should be receiving?
We should, as far as the timeline goes, we're not sure on that one, but we should be getting close to $100,000.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Any further questions? Hey, Mark, I do have one too. I'm assuming those are grants that you have to apply for reimbursement for?
It is. It's monies that we were received from from the state with regard to COVID any additional expenses that were involved with COVID. And those are actually something that we actually turned in and applied to the state and got, and hopefully we'll get reimbursements here soon, as soon as possible.
Okay, so you've already applied. I got you.
Yes.
Actually, that total will be 127,959 is how much revenue we put on the books to be reimbursed for. So that's what we're looking for.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Hey, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, Chairman Bow.
Aye.
And the next four are from the school department, appropriations and transfers from, looking for approval as a group.
Move for approval as a group.
Commissioner Fritz moves to approve as a group. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Hey, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg, Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell. Commissioner Denenberg, was yours an aye?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. I didn't hear you well. And Commissioner Bow.
Aye.
Right. Okay, number four is appropriation from the county clerk for postage, $16,000, increasing revenue for postage and increasing their postage code, $16,000.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Fritz moves for approval. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Jameson. Any discussion?
Yeah, I just had a quick question. I'm just curious, what is our total budget for mailing, for postage?
For the county clerk's office?
Yes, 16,000 seems like a pretty hefty amount. But I'm sure the budget is pretty hefty too for postage.
It's 18,800 this year. They did increase last year to 35,000. Jeff, when they have to mail out those automobile, like to dealers' plates, to customers and stuff, it takes quite a bit of postage for that, so. And they also have a postage revenue code that they collect postage in, and it gets up to 30,000 or more each year too. So he's really just using revenue to put in a code. So I think that's why he doesn't budget for it up front, to see how much revenue he will collect.
So this kind of fluctuates from year to year, I take it?
That's because I asked him the same question you did, why he doesn't go ahead and put that in his budget at the beginning of the year. And he said sometimes he doesn't use that much postage, but this year he has. I think I was telling Shane earlier, Commissioner Bow, that with COVID, I think postage has increased for a lot of departments. You know, you're either emailing or you're sending it through mail. So we're not seeing as many people personally.
Understand.
Any
I have
further
a question.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Robbie, this particular amendment, does both entries show as increases? Which one is the decrease?
When you increase, there isn't a decrease when you're increasing revenue. So we're increasing the budget for revenue by $16,000. And we're increasing his expenditure code by the same amount.
Thank you for
Yeah, whenever you use revenue, it's two increases.
Thank you for that explanation, sir.
No problem.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy, I see. Commissioner Creasy,
Hey,
Commissioner,
Robbie.
Aye.
yes, who's saying hey?
that's Jeff. I can't get in and I'm having to call on my phone. I'm in the Oak Ridge office and I couldn't get in. Anybody have was there a question?
There was about your, why you didn't put it in your budget, the 31,000 to begin with, what your budget was last year, and I think I explained it, but go ahead.
Well, the reason why we had that is one reason was because of COVID. Everybody's doing the mail, the online, and the mail is there. And our postage is up and down, and that, that's kind of set in, it's not a reserve code, but it's already set aside because the customer pays for it. So we just usually draw down as the year goes on. So, and I just didn't, I like doing a budget amendment at the end of the year to do it because it just flows a little bit better for us. And I think I can change that for next year's budget, but I just hate to put in a big number because sometimes we use it and sometimes we don't. And this year, it was a little bit more, just because of the COVID issues, what I'm trying to say. That makes sense?
Yes, that's what I explained. So good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Sorry. Thanks.
No, you're fine. We're voting on it. So I think you're good.
Okay. Thanks.
Commissioner Creasy, I never got your vote.
Yeah, I voted aye.
Okay.
In fact, I voted aye twice.
Well, we couldn't hear you either time. So thanks for the
That's
third
even
vote.
better. Thank you, Jerry.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, and Commissioner Val.
Aye.
All right. All right. The next two are appropriations from Nathan Sweet and EMS. The first one is $34,000 from his fund balance to principal on notes. And the explanation for that is Nathan is paying off a bond a year early because he's saving $2,000 by doing that. And his second one is insurance recovery into buildings and grounds where a truck backed into into a garage door and they're paying for the repairs.
Move for approval as a group.
Fritz moves for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Denenberg, any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Smallridge. Commissioner Smallridge. Are you muted?
You vote aye, Bob?
Just raise your hand. I'll move on. Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Creasy votes aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Val,
Aye.
and Commissioner Smallridge.
Aye. I'm sorry, I hit the wrong button and lost my screen. Hands
All right,
down.
Good deal. All right, the next two are from the library board, Susan Maselli. One is from Clinton Library, increasing $850 periodicals and janitor supplies, and the other one was from the Norris Library for $8,823 for data processing equipment.
Move for approval as a group.
Commissioner Smallridge moves for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jameson. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
All right, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy.
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, and Commissioner Val.
Aye.
All right, the next two are from finance for me, for the debt service, for physical agent charges. We actually left these out of the budget, and we just discovered it this month when we got a bill for $600 for some charges from Regions Bank. So I'm asking for an amendment to put this in the budget, and we have this taken care of for next year.
Move to approve as a group.
Commissioner Denenberg moves for approval as a group. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Waddell. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, and Commissioner Val.
Aye.
All right, next three are from the mayor. The first one is one entrance, the $197,200 from Courthouse Security Fund. Second one is increasing other salaries and wages from part-time to add a person in the planning and zoning office. And the third one is from unassigned fund balance, $6,500 to other general administration to help. Due to the COVID pandemic, our county work crew has been locked down and unable to pick up as much litter, to help pick up litter on the county roads. Seeking approval as a group, or the mayor's online. I'm sure she can answer any questions.
Approve as a group?
Commissioner Denenberg moves to approve as a group. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion?
I just had a question. So is this a one-time supplement due to COVID? Otherwise, this is normally covered by our own people. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, Commissioner Smallridge. So we actually have an existing contract where we supplement throughout the year with some major pickup. And that is currently at $13,500. Normally we have a full work crew. So the litter grant program pays for one sheriff's deputy to manage that crew. And then we have equipment, a van, a trailer, and they are out there in force year round. Because of COVID, we have been limited to essentially, for the most part, 2 inmates. And really, they're only able to pick up. So if we have a major trash dump or something like that, they'll go out there. And Chairman Val can speak to this as well. I mean, we've just had situations there at the detention facility where they've not been able to get out and to assist us. So as you've probably seen, even in Knoxville and Knox County and Anderson County, the litter has just been accumulating. And so this is a one-time only. You certainly don't have to do it, but I thought it was an option to maybe just supplement a little bit more of what we're doing and get some of that taken care of.
Thank you, Mayor.
And I certainly echo what the mayor said, commissioners. This is probably a good idea for now, and hopefully here before long, we'll be able to get back to a more standardized work crew out there to help with this. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy, was that a no? Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Val.
Aye. Commissioner Creasy, was that an aye vote, sir? Commissioner Creasy? Can you hear us, Jerry?
His camera is frozen or his feed is frozen.
Looks
Okay.
like it.
All right.
Oh,
Okay,
there, he's active again there, so.
there he goes.
Jerry, can you hear us? Commissioner Creasy?
Hear you?
Did you vote aye on
Yeah,
that?
I hear you fine.
Thank you, sir.
All right. The next one is a transfer
Did
from.
you have a question?
We just wanted to make sure you'd voted aye on that motion. The mayor's.
Yes, I voted aye.
Thanks,
Okay.
sir.
Sometimes we're not hearing you. I think you're freezing up a little bit.
I'll get closer.
Thank you. Let's do some sign language, I guess, maybe. The next one is a transfer from the circuit court clerk for salaries, $9,500 and overtime, increasing overtime.
Commissioner Waddell moves for approval. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Jameson. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Did you hear?
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Val.
Aye.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Creasy. We heard you perfectly then. Thank you. The next one is a transfer from the HR department, $2,000 at a part-time into clerical.
Moved for approval by Commissioner Waddell. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Denenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll,
Okay,
please.
Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, and Commissioner Val.
Aye.
Okay, 34, 35, and 36 are all from Randy Walters and Grants Coordinator, and they're all three for grants. Two of them are to put an accrual in for payroll this year, and the other in the Family Justice Center, we're actually going to change the way we were paying her. We thought we were paying her out of the budget, but she's going to get reimbursed out of other contracted services, so we're making that change also.
Move to approve as a group.
Commissioner Denenberg moves to approve as a group. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Smallridge. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, Commissioner Val.
Aye.
I just wanted to comment that if you haven't seen our Family Justice Center over in, I guess it's 301 Broadway, it's really a very nice setup. It's going to be a real plus. That family and all the services there, kind of a one-stop shop, and that's going to be great for people, for citizens.
Continuing on,
Section A.
section. Yeah, section.
Okay, Section A on the budgets. I do apologize because I was actually sending out a third email today before our email system went down, but some of you all don't have the updated numbers as far as the budget goes. Johnny and Billy in the property assessor's office asked me to get assessments. He said they were changing weekly, so I got one in February and I got one again today. So our revenue went up from last month, so I included that in the budget this morning. But also there was an error on the EMS, their expenditures, so I made that change also. But just real quickly on the budget, and I'm not looking for any action today, just I want y'all to have a chance to, when I can email you all the true figures. But our revenues increased this year right now from 30,207,662. That's what they are for next year's budget, from 29,232,936 amended budget. That's a total of 974,926. Most of it is local taxes. Property tax increased $512,000, 621, and sales tax $595,000. And the expenditures, we were asked to do two budgets, one that stayed the same and one that increased by $1,000 for salaries. And the budget with no increase is at 29 right now. It's currently 29,266,992 compared to last year's budget at 28,769,679. And you asked me how we can have a budget with no increase, but we have a $497,000 increase. So two of the biggest increases was the two new grants that we've added this year, the Family Justice Center and the Safe Babies Grant, which were $307,796. We did an amended budget for those in this current budget year, but they weren't on the original budget. So that adds to the budget totals. We also added, this year currently we have an 8-day accrual. Next year we have 9. So each budget had to have an extra day accrual, and that's about $65,000 for payroll. Trust in the county general administration, the trustees commission, and because when taxes go up, we collect more property taxes, trustees commission goes up. So I increased it and workers' comp total it for $50,000, because workers' comp, last year I lowered it from 300,000 to 280, but I lowered it too much because when we increased salaries, and we did last year, that year, it made workers' comp go up some. So I need to increase workers' comp. So that's one of the increases. CTAS, there was no raises this year for elected officials, but the judges and the law director got a cost of living raise at 1.2%, which is about $13,000. Benefits, health, dental, and life insurance. there's a $37,000 increase in the total budget for just people adding insurance or insurance changes from single to family, or people that picked up insurance. Honestly, I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but the IT budget, just because of, coverage, software we've had to buy for additional support, it increased by almost $65,000 from last year. And one other thing we did this year, the motor pool budget, there's an increase of $31,513, but his budget's not increasing. He gets paid by other departments like EMS, EMA for work done. Also, the schools use him several times, and we reimburse through a budget code, and then he does a budget amendment every year to get money put in his payroll code. So we're budgeting in that payroll code to begin the year, so he doesn't have to do that, and then the money's just going to roll into the fund balance. And that's basically the reason for the $497,000. But really, the budgets look good. If you look at the county with a no increase, it's got $940,000, $940, $670 in excess. Every budget, every fund except the highway has an excess budget. And I think I'm going to talk to Sally and Gary tomorrow about, I think their gas and fuel tax can be increased to make theirs a non-increase. But really, I mean, in this last page, and I'm going to send you the last 3 pages where it says, it has amended budget, proposed revenues and expenses. It breaks down every department and shows you if they have an increase or if they came in the same. Everybody's going to look like they have an increase for most departments because of the accrual. There may be a maintenance. I know in the finance department, our maintenance agreement with local government went up like $3,000, so we have to include that in the budget. But if there's an increase, I tried to check the box, and they'll be on the budget hearings come March 18th in 2 weeks. So I already know IT is going to be on that hearing, and HR will be on it. And the mayor has a couple of things she would like to discuss. So, and there may be a couple of others, but we don't have a whole lot of budget to be on the budget hearings. But in my opinion, the budgets look really good right now. So, and we're going to have some decisions to make with, what we want to do with the budget. So I'll take any questions if anybody has any comments.
Go ahead. Somebody else.
Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead, bud.
I just wanted to say one comment. I appreciate the brief explanations under comments when it comes to increases in some of the areas. I appreciate that. The other question I had, it says these are based on department proposed budgets. Does that mean that all the departments have been involved in developing their budgets and submitting them to you, so that we shouldn't expect a great change in those unless there's something rises that we didn't anticipate?
That's every department submits their own budget, and then we submit it into one big budget. Yes, that's true. And I know things come up and we do have budget amendments, and but and I suspect we'll always have those. But yes, that's in a perfect budget world, Bob, we'd never have, Commissioner Smallridge, we'd never have budget amendments. They'd have every one of those codes figured out, but I don't see that ever happening.
Right, I understand. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
More questions for Robbie on the budget proposals?
I've got one more. I hate to
That's
take
all
it
right.
all the time here, but
That's what we're here for. Go ahead.
I think under EMS, the revenue was down, if I read that right, about $400,000. I was wondering what that was due to, that decrease in revenue for the ambulance service. Did I read that?
Yes, you are. Amended budget was $6,488,881 and projected this year is $6 million, for next year $6,085,000. Mostly that's COVID money that they received for revenue. EMS has been fortunate to receive, probably $250,000 to $400,000 of COVID money. Maybe not quite 400,000, but that will shoot your revenue up because we have to, that's included in revenue. So it's COVID money that's caused that increase.
Right. Thanks.
Hey, Robbie, I'll chime in on that too. Actually, this fiscal year, we received about $500,000 from the CARES Act for COVID money. So that's a big part of it for this year. And then we don't, of course, anticipate that last year. If you look at our original projected revenues for this year, it was not the 6.4 that it shows on this document.
Right. Thanks, Nathan. And
Mr.
just
Chairman?
for clarification on the EMS, I have their expenditures on the sheet you all have a lot lower than what it should be. For a number one budget, it's $6,060,312 for a surplus budget of $24,862. And on number two, it's $6,133,696 for a $48,522 deficit. So I didn't get you all those corrected copies because of the email system, but I will get that to you as soon as I can.
Commissioner Denenberg, go ahead.
I was just going to make a comment. I had an opportunity to be over at EMS during the week, and I just want to say I'm glad that truck backed into the to the door, because they've got one that's much nicer with a big window that they can see who's on the other side of the door now.
Mr. Denenberg, any further questions for Robbie about the proposed budgets? Hearing none, moving on the agenda, new business. Have any new business?
I do have two budget amendments. Let me find them really quick. One is from Jeff Cole and County Clerk. He's decreasing his travel budget. It's a transfer, but he got it in after the deadline. And I actually emailed you all with a second email. This was in there. Decreasing travel $1,200 and increasing office supplies by $1,200. He needs to purchase new chairs to use at the new counter space in Oak Ridge. He redid his counter space in Oak Ridge for COVID reasons, and I think now he needs some new chairs to go with that.
Move for approval.
Reds moves for approval. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second by Commissioner Denenberg. Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, and Commissioner Val.
Aye.
Okay, and the next one is from our IT department, and for me also. We are having to increase other contracted services $3,000 out of unassigned fund balance, and we've had continuous issues with our email system, and I can't really say a whole lot more about it, but we're going to have to upgrade it, so we need to make this change as soon as possible.
Move to approve.
Commissioner Waddell moves for approval. Commissioner Denenberg seconds.
Yes, sir, that's fine.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Robbie, call the roll, please.
Okay, Commissioner Smallridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Denenberg,
Aye.
Commissioner Creasy,
Aye.
Commissioner Fritz,
Aye.
Commissioner Jameson, Commissioner Waddell, and Commissioner Val.
Aye.
That's all I have.
All for new business, old business.
We do have Kim Jeffers Whitaker in HR would like to speak about the comp plan under old business.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Sent it out yesterday morning, and it had the attached document on there. It is, this body asked the department, HR, to begin a compensation analysis a couple years back. And what I sent to you was the work product. So during the time that we have went through this, there's been changes made to the compensation plan that this body, as well as county commission, approved. And all this is doing is showing you the work product, what it took to get there. And it hits on a few things. I think if you'll, on page 23 is the summary. So it kind of summarizes the findings that were outside of the request and the items that occurred during the request, the changes that occurred. There was overall, when it was completed, out of 24 concerns, 5 of the concerns could not be fully adjusted out of the 24. The majority of those were corrected within the departmental budget. So, if you have a larger staff, you might have enough funding to correct a small issue. So a lot of those were already taken care of, and you're probably not ever going to see those because they could do it within their own budget. 2 of the 5 have been reported to be on a 3-year step plan. That was one of the suggestions, that if you're still dealing with a smaller department and you can't meet the minimum or the requested or the recommended amounts, that you could put them on a 3-year plan to hopefully reach that goal within the 3 years. So 2 of those were reported to be on those. 1 of the 5 no longer works for Anderson County. But it is my understanding that there will be 2 of the concerns that will be brought before budget during the budget season and during the budget cycle. They are smaller departments that doesn't have the ability to correct any concerns. They don't have the funding within them. So you're going to see those 2. With that, when Robbie starts sending out the information, and you may already have some of that, there will be an email attached to that. I'm sorry, there will be minutes attached to that. I emailed Robbie the minutes where those went through the processes and received approval. It's just got to get to this point, okay? So kind of watch for those, and if y'all have any questions on those, feel free to reach out. But I do want to thank the Budget Committee as well as Commission for the opportunity to serve you all in this process. But also for the opportunity to serve the employees. Many of those that were among the internal departmental survey and changes, salary adjustments, have stopped me in the hall or sent me an email or called me just to simply say thank you. Y'all have really made a difference and a change in at least 11 of our employees' lives by doing this. And that impacts their work morale as well as the engagement in their future with Anderson County. So while you're affecting their lives. So I thank you for that. That's really all I have. If y'all have any questions.
Questions for Director Whitaker?
Just a compliment. Excellent job.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Mr. Chairman.
Commissioner Dannenberg, go ahead.
I just want to also applaud Ms. Kim because she has done a fabulous job. She has worked diligently on this. And I was appalled to see how below, we'll just say market, so many of our employees were. And the fact that she has done such a wonderful job of working to get people up to par as far as their salaries are concerned. I just want to say thank you, and she has my full and complete support.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? All right, hearing none. Thank you, ma'am.
I'd also like to say, as far as the finding the internal funding to fix some of those issues, Robbie played a large role in that as well, because it takes both of us to work together to find those items. So he deserves some of that appreciation too. But thank you all.
Thank you.
And I also want to thank Robbie. She is right. He has helped a lot.
He has been thanked. Yeah. Any further old business come before the committee? Any other business come before the committee?
The last comment for me. Next, on the 18th of March, don't forget we have our budget hearings at 4 o'clock. That's 2 weeks. I'm going to be looking also for some motions, maybe to go ahead and approve if Charles will, the budgets that have come under or meet the guidelines. I think we can go ahead and approve those budgets and just deal with the ones that are problem issues, so to speak. So we don't have a lot of those. So that's what's going to happen in 2 weeks anyway. So, and I will try to get you all as much information out as possible, because it's going to be harder for us to do this. This is the first time we've worked on a budget virtually. So it's different, I think, when you don't have hard copies in your hand. And so we'll see how it goes, but I'll do my best to get you all the information I can.
I'd highly recommend that we get our tablets charged up and ready to go like we do for a commission meeting, have everything downloaded. where we can open it up and look would probably save us a lot of time.
Agree.
Any more business? Hearing none, we are adjourned.
Good job.